Well, hello everybody. This is your good friend Cryptic Paradigm, and I'm speaking to all of the saber enthusiasts out there who have probably been waiting for this particular video. And what I have for you this fine evening is a bit of a treat. This is the Saberforge Generation 3 Economy Antagonist Saber. And I just received this today. And I'm going to start by showing you one of the features of the saber that I quite enjoy. Please note that the pommel has 4 distinct cuts in it. And if you go to the emitter, you will see 4 distinct cuts. So details on the pommel mirror the details on the emitter. And I quite enjoy that feature. That is very appealing to me. Aesthetically, it's a real win. Now, the thing about the saber that I noticed in previous attempts to review this video, along with some camera malfunctions, is there's a degree of homogeneity from the front to the back of the saber. There's very little additional detail as far as greebles or cutouts or different details like that, which is provides a rather supreme clean look to the saber overall. So as far as details go, here's your blade retention screw, and the retention screw for the LED is here. So the LED actually kind of ends about there. So you get about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches of clearance for the blade. With the cutouts, you would think that you would lack, in support. But as you can see here, for the most part, the sections of the emitter, the tangs that stick out, they don't really make contact with the blade, but it does kind of add a bit of security. And I find that, with the blade retention screw, this blade is pretty securely in here. Please note, as with a lot of Saberforge products, and as specifically the Gen 3 line, there are sharp edges. The emitter, you can hear that. It's very sharp, so it's best to probably avoid making contact with that to the best of your ability. Now, this choke point right here is where you want to grip the saber. Unequivocally, that's the best place to place the crook of your hand, as it were. And as you can see, the details are pretty consistent there. You can also grip it from this point here. Now, this screw and this screw, they hold this unit in place. If you were to undo that, and take out all the retention screws, and then remove the pommel, you can slide all the components right out the back end and gain access to that, which is kind of convenient for repairs or modifications or what have you. And I'm going to do another video once I do a little bit of research. I have a friend at work who is also kind of looking into the Gen 3 line, and he made some pretty interesting discoveries regarding the components of these sabers and their origins. But until I verify some of those facts, I'm gonna withhold bringing any of that up. Here's your recharge port, and of course this does come with a cord, and the opposite end of the cord has a USB for connecting to a device for recharging. This runs off of an 18650 lithium-ion battery, as most of Saberforge's products do, and these new Gen 3s do as well. And you can actually remove the pommel, undo this screw which holds the chassis in place, and if you're careful, without damaging the speaker, you may be able to get the chassis out, and it actually has a right proper chassis with the lithium ion battery connected, and then the board it's all basically that unit comprises the heart of the saber, as with most sabers and most Saberforge products. So there's an inherent convenience about that. The switch is backlit, and since this is a light blue for this saber, the switch is backlit in blue, which is a very nice touch and much appreciated. Here's your grenade section. Now this is your left hand grip point. And this is rather comfortable, but it can be a little bit abrasive as you start swinging, which is why, and I will show you this later, you'll want to grip here. But for two-handed assaults, you can grip this. Just be aware that from here to here, these grooves, they are not sharp, but the inner ones are a little bit sharp, and these are the ones that'll dig into you a little bit. This is sort of a prevalent condition for all the Gen 3 sabers. It seems that the finishing, although quite good and aesthetically pleasing, it can be a little bit dangerous. I actually finally injured myself on my Defender. I gave myself a pretty decent cut on my pinky, as you will see here if I can get my finger into the shot. I don't want to show you the cut because that would be gross. I'm not going to do that to you. Another bit of not really a choke point, but it kind of is. Interestingly enough, you'll probably be gripping this part with your right hand and gripping this part with your left hand, similar to how one would wield a katana. So that's quite interesting. I like that layout. So you got some grooves, some details here. And then, of course, it ends in the pommel, and you got your little mesh protecting the screen. So, this saber comes standard with a 24-inch Infinity V4 blade, as we are all used to. And let's turn her on. Well, that sounded wrong. Sorry about that.
Power on.
Power on. You can see the blue switch there. Initially, when you turn it on, it's going to be in mute mode. Mostly because after I use the saber, I do turn it off, which automatically puts it in the mute mode. You can see how these cutouts work. They're quite lovely. Showing off the blade in all of its glory. It is quite bright. So you got that going for you. I would say it's probably not as bright as the red on the Defender, but it's bright enough as it is. So let's get to the point where we can use the
Saberforge Gen.
There you go. So this saber comes with Saberforge Viridian as a standard font. Now, here's your sound. Now, please note that the saber is stable on a flat surface, but once you pick it up and start moving it, the tendency for the font is to go a little bit nuts, I've discovered, and that's not due to a lack of the battery being charged. That's just kind of the nature of the product, and it's a little bit jarring, but I've gotten used to it. Alright, so here's your blaster block. There's your lockup. Alright. So let me swing this around a little bit for you. Notice I'm being kind of ginger with it. Don't mind the clutter. Here we go. Notice how I'm gripping it up here. It's being a little bit more cooperative. Maybe it's because it's fully charged. Here's your flash on clash sound. So that should give you an idea of the performance of the saber. And I'm going to power it off to preserve the battery.
Power off.
Okay. Now let's just give you one more look, one more visual tour. Love this grenade section. You kind of, when you're wielding it, you avoid it at all costs, but it is so beautiful. Aesthetically speaking, this is a beautiful saber. I think Saberforge did a wonderful job. Let me give you a bit of a perspective shot here. Look at that. Yes. And another perspective shot, if I can muster it. Yeah. I'm quite pleased. I really am. This is simply a lovely saber. If they continue to do work like this on inexpensive sabers such as this, I think we're all in for many, many years of various and sundry treats. At any rate, so endeth the video. I hope you enjoyed this this first look and review at the Saberforge Gen 3 Economy Antagonist. There's nothing antagonizing about this saber at all, as far as I'm concerned. And on that bombshell, I'm going to bid you all a fine evening, and I will see you on my next video. Take care now. Bye.